Hello and welcome to another episode of Ashaya Day Trip Productions. Today is Saturday, May 3rd of 2025. It's about just shortly after 6:30 in the morning, so it is definitely an early start for the video this week. We'll be heading out, making the 30-minute commute to Springdale, Arkansas, where I will be boarding a train for a somewhat short excursion to Buren, Arkansas. This is one of two trips that the Arkansas-Missouri Railroad offers from Springdale. Last year on March 16th of last year, I actually did my first little excursion. That was the short one that went from Springdale to Winslow and back. There was no layovers or anything. It was just go to Winslow and just come right back. It was an enjoyable train ride. But this one, of course, is a little longer, and there is a 3-hour layover in Van Buren, so not quite sure what I'm going to do for 3 hours in Van Buren, but we will certainly walk around and check out. I know that it's supposed to be an historical area, so we're just going to see kind of what we see in regards to that. Also, I didn't realize that they were having their the Steel Horse Motorcycle Rally, which is in Fort Smith, which is just, within 5-6 miles of Van Buren. So I'm hoping for a little quiet day, but I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. So we're just going to have to see and hear how that one's going to go. So I'm fixing to head out here shortly. So let's roll. Okay, so I've made it out to my first destination here at the train depot in Springdale, Arkansas. So see the trains there. We got some workers out there. Over here, this is the ticket center. So I placed my order online. However, you need to get your actual ticket over here, so you need to check in to get that. So once you get that, then you can come over this area, and this is where you board the train. So I'm just going to kind of walk in real quick and get my tickets and get situated. Okay, so I got my ticket all taken care of, so just kind of standing out here, just kind of waiting to load onto the train. It's about 7:35 now, so doesn't head out till 8. And so over here they have a museum.
You got a mini camera, huh?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. So just gonna kind of walk in real quick and check out the museum. And I will say I have been in here before, so if you want to see the video to Winslow that I did, it's still out there. So you can kind of check that one out.
At Conway, it is at the Veteran Memorial Museum's Missouri Pacific to Union Pacific model train layover.
Alright, so it's about 8 o'clock now, and we're just all getting loaded up, getting ready to head out for I think it's a 2.5 hour, I believe, train ride there to Van Buren, and it's a round trip, and it is a 3-hour layover in Van Buren. So this is actually the car I was on last time. This one here was $112, and it comes with a I think there's like a morning snack, and then you get like an afternoon snack on the way back. And I overheard one of the conductors saying that it was this is one of the longest excursion train rides in the country. He said that like Branson has one, but it's like 2 hours, but it only goes, I think he said like 12 miles or something like that. So, and another thing too, if you take a train ride, just, it's public transportation, so understand things may not run exactly on schedule. So if you make plans for something to do afterwards on the way back, just kind of keep that in mind.
So, I'm gonna take 2 at a time for what I like to do. This is Dixon Street coming up right here. Now this is one of the oldest train stations in the country. This is 1880 right here. This here first part is the baggage. The second part was the ticket office. They made some kind of a little restaurant or something out of it now. That's the restaurant right there now. Here we are. Here's a famed street. And this is what they've done. This is the parking lot. This is what they did to the parking lot. They worked on that for about 4 months. They did a lot of work in the little guy. All over the place. I mean, it's a big one. We see down here, brother. And up north, there's a lot of Redmond train stations. There's about 5 that you show up there. Big business. This is a 1950 car, right here, this car here. I remodeled this home a little something for a start by remodeling. I was a general contractor. I had several crews. I built about 115, 118 blog homes, several hundred regular homes, all over 6 states. So this is Springdale Junction. There was another railway system that went this way here. These are all sand cars because we got a concrete plant we serve right here. That old car up here, that's just at the Topeka to Santa Fe. That's a little over 100 years old. It's a Pullman. We give them a free ride. These are extremely poor,
This is West
underprivileged children. They're called the hippie group. They're really small. Oh yeah, they have their flea markets. They sell train fleas here too. I mean, they roll over, play this, bike and stuff like that. Train fleas. That's one thing we do very much. Everybody comes here. It's a that's right. Milk, butter. Now we got the new ones in the BG market. They've got lots of marketing stuff. We got lots and lots of food. We got one by us. This sidetrack, we'll use that. When we drop you folks off down to Van Buren, we're going to pick up another couple hundred people. We're going to come up to this part right here. The engine will be at this end. You'll go up around the bend, come on the side over here, go up the other end and pull us down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down there. When we come back, you cannot get out the back end, because the engine will be right there. Here they are with the free market. Always two people here selling free. Hey, there's a brand new jail over here. It's a green one, look at that. See the new jail? Getting ready to enter into the tunnel. On each side is a stream. These little streams flow through the tunnel, and they have 8-foot black snakes in these channels on each side. And the reason, because copperheads and rattlesnakes like to come into their tunnels. If there's workers in here, they don't want to be bitten by that. The black snakes are natural enemies to the copperheads and the rattlesnakes. So they kill them and eat them. So that saves somebody else going in and doing it. Also, we've had problems with people from different countries that are not supposed to be here. They come in here, when they see 8-foot black snake, they want to be kissed 8-foot black snake with a forked tongue. And when we're at apex, see the number 20 right outside, we're just past number 20, that is the apex. That apex is where we're now starting to go down right there. Now we're going downhill. We're going to be going down at a 3.8 or 3.9 degree downslope, which means that this end of the car back here will be 3.5 to 4 feet higher in elevation than this end of the car, as we're going down slope like this. There's 3 platforms out here. These platforms used to hold 55-gallon drums of water. When the old steam trains used to run, what they would do, they would set stuff on fire, because it was fires what made them go. So they'd set the old trestle on fire, which is wood back then, the 1800s. Now you can look down, we're going to be over the tops of all the trees directly. Just a couple minutes, we're over the tops of all the trees. We're getting there now.
Wow.
These platforms held 55-gallon drums of water. They had stainless steel buckets, so they'd scoop the water up, put it on the frames and the trestle. Okay, here we are, we're on the trestle now. This is a small one, it's only 420 feet long. If you look out the window, we're going to be over the tops of the trees again. I'd just like to be up here putting the rails down. I'd be swinging an old sledgehammer way back. Now the machine does it. There's the cutaway. Down underneath there, all along, right through here, there's great big overhangs. I'd like to paint in, but there's still great big overhangs. Great big caves back into there. There's no leaves and trees, you can see them. Where the ancient bluff dwellers used to live 1,500 years ago. 480 feet long, 125 or 125 feet long. You'll see houses along the tops of the mountains and the ridges. I-71 grass there. I've been all over there for a long, long time. I was up there. Approximately 1 mile. Come to the mass grave site. Mass grave site, there's 3 crosses. The cross that's closest to the railroad, we're going to swing to the southeast. The cross closest to the railroad is all the people that are buried underneath. We're going over the graves of maybe 50 people or more. They're buried underneath the rail. These workers died of smallpox, they were buried right underneath. That's why they did it. Well, they wouldn't let us. Yeah. 2:30 back to the train station, we have to get to Uber. Now Uber from down here up there costs $250 by the time I pay. So you don't want to do that. Catch the train.
We're now approaching Van Buren. Train ride was about, I don't know, 2.5 hours or so. So now gotta do my thing, be back here by 2:30.
There should also be a trolley right there. Now my advice is to go to a restaurant right away and get something to eat, because if you do not, like at the Vault especially, if you wait for 20 minutes, there'll be an hour to an hour and a half wait to get into it. That's how popular that place is. So you get off and go right to it and eat right away. That way you get in, get out, and go see something else. You get on a trolley, the trolley will take you all over the place. You can even go to Van Buren's, which is the former governor and also president. His house is up on the hill up there. It's a historical place. from his place is really neat. He can take you down to the river and see all kinds of neat stuff if you want to. Or you can walk around and look at the shops. There should be a bunch open. I don't know if the little one shop might be open, a little hot dog shop there. He gives you hot dogs and you get chili burgers. Chili dogs. Really good stuff.
Alright, so we have arrived in Buren, Arkansas. Just got dropped off at the train station here. It's a nice little station. It's my first time out here, so I'm just not too sure what all I'm planning on doing. Got 3 hours. Gotta be back here about 2:30, so it is about 11:30 now. So this is supposed to be like the historic district. So they got plenty of eating places. They got museums, historical buildings. They got a museum right here. Yeah, see, we got quite a little bit of crowd going. And they also have a trolley out here that you can ride. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there. Now the street that we'll be traveling, the main street of downtown, was the trail of which the stagecoach from St. Louis traveled to San Francisco back in the 1800s. The stagecoach would come here, and at the end of this street, they would ford the river and go into Indian Territory and then head west toward California. Buildings in the downtown district are the original buildings. None of them are replicas or remakes. They've been maintained since the 1800s. And they are kept up to code. They're maintained by all of them. But that none of them are replicas or lookalikes or anything like that. We do quite a few movies here, and we come into this town because of the age and the authenticity, and they cover Main Street with dirt to make it look good for the old westerns. Stores in the downtown area were mercantile stores, grocery stores, banks, and all the stores of the city back in the early 1900s would have had, and they are today as they were then. The floors were original, the walls, and the decor has been matched with what it was back then.
Main Street Candy and Lunch Show. That's a good place to go.
On our right, after we stop at the stop sign, the building that comes up is the original Opera House. The building in the Opera House is still in use today as a theater. They show movies, and they also have live entertainment in that.
$5 movie night.
It's in use every day. Court is held in the courtrooms. We do have county offices in the building, but the county it's a storage building. I was a state trooper in Oklahoma in the 1970s, and that building was in use. I was over here with the Arkansas State Police several times, and that's what they were using for a jail. The building coming up on the right is the original schoolhouse. The building was originally about 4 to 5 miles east on the street, and that building has been moved 3 times. When the schools were built locally, they did not use this anymore, and they moved it to the campus at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. And then after they needed the space in Fayetteville, they moved that building to Little Rock, to the state capitol grounds. Went to the state capitol grounds until they needed the land there. And then it was decided to bring it back to Van Buren, put it on the county courthouse lot. And the county takes care of it and maintains the building now.
Wow, look at this. Yeah, it's a bridge. Wow.
This is the Arkansas River District. The Arkansas is navigable to Muskogee, Oklahoma. At that point, it's the Muskogee, Verdigris River, and it is navigable on the coast of When you're visiting in Van Buren, you go downtown here, anytime you see one of those signs, the trolley stop, if you just want to get off, go into the stores, you come back, and you don't want to walk up the hill, back to the car, just go to one of those signs. When the trolley comes by, raise your hand, wave at us, we'll stop and pick you up, and take you on. If you get hungry, we have some sweet shops in this block. And then on the next corner, the Vault Restaurant, which is a very popular place here in Van Buren. And then the pasta house across the street from the depot where you boarded. Both are excellent. They have good food at reasonable prices. And if you're hungry, it's a good place to get full. I usually, when I eat, get 2 meals out what they serve. You also are here today, which is the beginning of the bike rally and and that's why you see all the bikers and all.
Yeah, I see.
Alright, so that's just a quick little tour on the trolley. It's about a 15-20 minute tour. kind of tour I liked. Didn't have to say 2 words, you know, the man had a lot of information. So if you are in Van Buren, I suggest you take that. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything to take. So it just gives you a good idea. My first time here in the downtown area, so gives you a little bit of information, shows you a little bit where things are at. Of course, you got a bunch of shops down here, places to eat. We got a couple of parks, which I'm going to walk to. They're just right by the train depot, so easy walk. So this is going to be park number 1 that I will visit. I really do like this clock up here too. It's pretty neat, and it is working correctly, and it is about, well, might be a little behind, or my watch might be a little fast, but it's about 12:05 now. So right here, got a little bit of information, and talks a little bit about the Blue Star service flag. Over here we got a, looks like some sort of artwork out here. Not quite sure what that represents. And oh, I think this right here, I believe, is actually a splash pad. I did recall seeing photos of this, so it's a little cool right now. It's early May, but you know, if you're in the area or something, you know, you get kids or something, need a place to come out and cool off, they can come out here. It's like missing one. Not quite sure what this is about, but huh. Oh, okay. I get it. Not all of them have the I don't know what you call it, drumstick. I know it's not an actual drumstick, but okay. It's not very musical, but I think that was the idea. Okay. Got some beautiful trees. Doesn't go too far, it's almost just kind of like a circle. It is a beautiful park. Of course, you got the covered seating area over there, so that's really nice. And up here, looks like this probably was a place to put on concerts, it looks like. Not quite sure what this is. Maybe it was a fountain of some sort. Okay, so it's just a little bit of Freedom Park in Van Buren. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to walk across the street to the Veteran Memorial Park and just kind of take a look. And looks like they got a pretty fountain over there, so we're going to walk over there and just check it out. Okay, so just want to mention before I visit the Veteran Memorial Park over here, this right here, apparently this is a dry county, however they allow alcohol down here at what they call the entertainment district. So just so you know, once you go beyond this point, alcohol is not allowed. So I think honestly it's probably a little bit of an outdated concept, but whatever. So okay, so as stated, this is the Veterans Memorial, or they call it a plaza, I call it a park. And once again, you got plenty of information. Obviously I'm not gonna read all of it, but this gives you a little bit of history of the United States Coast Guard, the United States Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Navy, and the Army. However, they are missing the, what do we got? The Space Force seems to be missing. But this is a really beautiful park right here. This is neat. They got one for first responders. On this side, they got another one for the Air Force. Down there, they have another one for the Army, and it looks like they got lights down here at the bottom, so these probably light up at night. Nice little monuments there. And over on this end, they have a monument for the United States Coast Guard. The United States Marine Corps. And then over here we have for the Navy. And on this end, they have more fountains, and these are absolutely beautiful. So we've done, so far, we've done the trolley tour, we've done, visited Freedom Park, and then we walked over here to the Veteran Memorial Plaza. So I did see on the, when I was on the trolley, that we do have like an historic courthouse over here that has some really beautiful spots. So I think what I'm gonna do now is kind of walk over there and just kind of check it out. Okay, right now I'm standing in front of the courthouse, and from what, if I remember correctly, what the trolley guide was saying is that this is still an active courthouse. But I just noticed this right here, they have a Vietnam Memorial. Some of the men who have lost their lives, I'm gonna guess, pretty sure that these are probably residents here of Van Buren that were killed in action in Vietnam. Of course, I'm going to walk up and take a good view of the fountain and the sculptures out here. And just to say, looking at my watch, yeah, I think the clock is working good. This over here talks a little bit about the Butterfield stage route, and it ran between St. Louis and San Francisco and passed through Main Street of Van Buren and crossed the river at this point. Kind of read this bottom off. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influences stops. Henry Adams. So it's erected and dedicated to the memory and honor of those who have served and those who are now serving as school teachers in every land. That was erected, it looks like 1971. So that's pretty neat. You don't see that very often. Now we'll walk over and take a look at the schoolhouse here. And from what the trolley guide was saying, there's some, what they call it, ghost signs. What the trolley guide was saying is that this schoolhouse has been moved a few times. So I don't believe this isn't the original spot. So apparently this is where General Albert Pike had taught students in the Van Buren area. So, okay, so this is the old building that Albert Pike taught his first school in Arkansas in 1832. And apparently there's an Albert Pike School Museum that was founded in 1956. And this schoolhouse itself was erected in 1820. Looks like we got a good sized bumblebee up there. Okay. So that's pretty neat. You kind of can look through a little bit. So this is the Albert Pike Schoolhouse. Now, I will say, not too up on the history of this area. I'm not from here. I didn't grow up in Arkansas, so I'm not sure about all the details of it. And I will say that history wasn't my greatest class in school, I guess, you know. I was worse at math, but history probably wasn't too far behind. But I do want to kind of just come out today to Van Buren. Just want to take the train ride and come down to Van Buren and just kind of see a little bit what they have out here. And they do have quite a lot. It's a very historic area. One thing though I haven't seen yet, I haven't seen any kind of National Register of Historic Places plaques or anything, so not certain if they have anything like that out here. You would think they would, but I don't know. Keep my eye open, but I haven't seen anything yet. Just kind of walking around the other side of the courthouse here. And I do believe, and I will say, this is still a courthouse that is in use. is a beautiful building. Gotta love the old architecture. So this right here was erected in memory of the events during which the Crawford County boys fought the Mexican War, War between the states, Spanish-American War, World War One, yeah, 1917, 1918. Guess that'd be World War One. So this was erected in 1937 by the Arkansas Division of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Okay. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do, I am going to just kind of walk my way back up the historic entertainment district up here, and kind of show a little bit, check out the Opera House, just kind of see what kind of shows and stuff they have playing. Obviously I won't be attending any today, but I did want to kind of walk by it and check it out. Maybe I'll be surprised and see some National Register of Historic Places plaques. Kind of doubting it, which is really surprising to me in this area. Right here is the Opera House, and it looks like they have a comedy night, which has come and gone, and they have musicians, which has come and gone. And then come over here, and looks like they have like a play or something called The Secret Garden. May 2nd, 3rd, which has since come and gone. Well, no, today's the 3rd, so by the time this video comes out, it will have come and gone.
summer man is going the wrong way. That's weird. That's what he said. That's what I said. I said, I've never seen such a bill. I've never had that like that. So weird. He gave me another new one. Our house is almost, I said, I'm coming back next time and you're 20 years younger. I'm going to be
Yeah.
You'd like one to be like here.
Anyway, take anywhere better what you do.
Okay, so that was a trip by train to Buren, Arkansas. From Springdale, Arkansas. It's probably, I think it's probably about 2.5 hour trip one way. So it's of course, you know, it's a round trip. So, and with a 3-hour layover in Van Buren, so it was an all-day event. It is now just almost 6:15, and so just like I said earlier in the video, in my introduction, is that, you know, if you do these excursions, plan on making a day out of it, because, you know, even though it was scheduled from 8 to 5, you know, it's now 6 o'clock, so we're just now getting back. It was a very enjoyable trip. I will say the crew on this, I rode this particular car last time, and so same crew, couple new faces, and once again, fantastic group. The gentleman, the head, I call him the head conductor of that particular car, he's been, I think he said he's 80-something years old, so he's really, he's knowledgeable, he's entertaining, he's engaging, and so just a great crew. Can't recommend that car enough. And the ticket I got was $112 altogether, so very affordable. And they did snacks going and coming back, so had a little snack tray. Nothing too fancy, but that's okay. It's enough to just put a little bit in my stomach, because I did not eat when I was in Van Buren. Just wasn't really planning on doing that today. However, I did make a stop by a record store there, and of course, you know, went in, spent a little money, so I was just going to take an opportunity here just to kind of show you a little bit of my haul, if you will. And I am going to start, and altogether I bought 4 records. Just recently bought a record player, so I was really kind of wanting to kind of get some records to it, and one of them that I was looking for is this right here. This is Dynasty by Kiss. I grew up, like many people, grew up listening to Kiss, and this right here is when I was younger, I used to listen to this record just all the time. I know it's kind of more disco oriented. It's come out in 79 or 80 or something like that. But I really, it's one of my favorites. It has Charisma, which is a song I really like, and then I Was Made for Loving You. So those are a couple of really good songs. So I just kind of reminiscing a little bit. I just wanted to go ahead and get this. But of course, that wasn't all. I am a rock fan. I grew up listening to rock music, and that's just kind of just the way I kind of roll. But I also did want to, I did fairly recently, I'm still at the train depot in case you were wondering. I did go ahead and pick up a Fleetwood Mac record. This is kind of a group I got into a little bit later. When I was a kid, I was pretty much hard rock and heavy metal. So this is something I got into probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so. So I went ahead and got that. And so this one here was $45. This one here was $30. So they're not cheap by any means. And actually, I was looking for and saw a Pink Floyd album. I think it was maybe it was Dark Side, I don't know. One of them. And it was like $70, and I said, couldn't quite swing that one. But I did also pick up a couple of records by a group that, sadly, I don't think will be releasing another album. Their guitar player passed away, I think probably a year and a half, 2 years ago now. But I am an absolute huge fan, and that is Killing Joke. One of my all-time favorite records right here is Pandemonium. So I got that, I reckon. I actually have this on CD, but I wanted to get a record, so I got that. And that there was $38.33. Don't know how they came up with that price, but there you go. And this is actually, it's a used record store. So I think something that I saw, if there's like issues with it, I think they kind of put like a little thing on there, so that way you kind of get an idea. So I'm hoping that these sound good. Hopefully, considering what I paid for them. So I got that one, and also they had another Killing Joke, and this one I went ahead and bought. It's the singles collection from 1979 to 2012. So I figured I got like all the real, every song pretty much is just awesome by them. But wanted to go ahead and get this. So I got like a whole compilation of some of their best songs, if you will. They're all great. And sadly, like I said, their guitar player passed away, and he was just like, as a matter of fact, this one was $70. But like the other Pink Floyd one, this one's like a whole compilation, so whole big. I think it's worth $70. But like I was saying, unfortunately, their guitar player passed away, and he was just such, he was, him and the vocalist are pretty much it. Without one or the other, you don't have Killing Joke. But I will also say, just in regards to their music, as far as guitar players, this guy here was a guitar player, Geordie Walker, and of course David Gilmour from Pink Floyd are like the two hands down best guitar players ever. Both of them I consider just like an influence on any kind of guitar playing I did. So that's that. So on that I spent probably almost close to $200, which is a little bit more than I was planning on spending. So, but don't know how often I'll get back there. But if I do go to Van Buren again, I plan on making a point stopping by. As a matter of fact, I just browsed through really quick. You could probably spend an hour at least, if not more. I just stayed on the rock section on the first floor, but they do have a second floor. So next time I go, I may have to check a little bit more, see what else they got going on there. Like I said, it was a fantastic train trip. Shout out to all the crew on that, And yeah, so you kind of see the train pulling off now, back there in the back. So that's gonna do it all for me today. Until next time. Bye.